Hold My Guns connects responsible firearm owners with voluntary private off-site storage options during times of mental health crisis or personal need.
But first, self-defense and emergencies can happen to anyone, and there is no guarantee that the justice system will be on your side. So you need to make sure you are protected for that legal battle after your self-defense battle. While you protect your family and protect property, U.S. Law Shield is here to defend you 24/7, 365 days a year, with a comprehensive self-defense coverage at an affordable price. Bad guys don't take days off, and neither does our coverage. Hey, listeners, you can get a free T-shirt when you use the code GUNOWNERSRADIO. Just go sign up at uslawshield.com.
Oh, free T-shirt. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, you've only been listening for the last...
Has that been going on?
Ever since.
All right. Well,
good morning.
I'm usually preparing for the next segment.
Yes, of course you are.
This one, I'm totally prepared. So that's why I could hear that you get a free T-shirt.
Yeah.
All right. So our guest is from Hold My Guns, which is very different than Hold My Beer. Whole different thing. Don't get them confused. Sarah Joy Albrecht is the founder and executive director for Hold My Guns. Sarah, you there?
I am. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And Happy New Year.
To you as well.
So, Sarah, let's start with your background. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I am a range safety officer, and I work with youth. I have volunteered with the Southern Chester County Youth Shooting League for many years. I'm a mom of 5 kids, and they have gone through that league as well. And they actually have a distinguished expert, 2 experts, and 2 sharpshooters. So firearms are very much a part of our family and the firearms community. And prior to founding Hold My Guns, I was a doula and childbirth educator for 11 years. So helping people through transitioning to becoming parents and making informed decisions and just really helping people to think through next steps in life and to plan ahead. So I'm just really excited to be in the space for Hold My Guns and supporting our firearms community in this way. And the reason why I started it is because we lost an 18-year-old friend to suicide by firearm. And when my kids and their friends came to me and they're like, Mom, we really care so much about preserving our rights. What can we do to help gun owners when there's a crisis in the home that, can come alongside of them and support them in a way that helps them to preserve rights? And what we realized is that not everyone has a friend or family member who can help store firearms. And then different state laws can vary that, can bring complications to that as well. And so we just saw a need to create an option to partner with FSLs across the United States to provide this option for people who needed it. And we can store firearms, and we can also store non-serialized critical parts such as a barrel or a firing pin, depending on the storage partner's capabilities. So that's a little bit about how I got started with it.
Wow. First, I'm very sorry for your loss. That sounds very sad and tragic.
Thank you. It was tough.
I'm sure it was. That sounds horrible. I was actually just on a podcast this morning with Dan Waz. You know that guy, Dan?
Yes.
And I think is it Waz? It's Waz, right? Waz or Woz? I think it's Waz.
Don't ask me. I'm not sure.
I just know him as Dan. Anyway, and we were talking about the gun violence restraining orders, the red flag laws.
Yes.
And I really think that, first off, we're totally against the gun violence restraining orders. And that's really all they're talking about when they talk about red flag laws. But it does seem like one of the things that we talked about was, hey, if there was some kind of clarification or steps or education or something like that, that they were putting out that would help people in times of crisis, that might be beneficial. Hey, what do you do when you have an elderly parent who is, starting to show signs of dementia and they're a gun owner? Or what do you do when, any kind of crisis, right? Any kind of mental health crisis? What do you do? I mean, that's a very, you're talking about taking away somebody's God-given right. So how do you handle that? What are the steps? What kind of help out there is available? And I realized I was talking to you and I thought, wow, this is actually a really great opportunity so many gun laws were created because, because we didn't step up and take the responsibility, I guess, and say, hey, this is how we need to, handle these hard situations. And they use that against us. They use these situations against us. And this feels like a really great opportunity to, to be proactive and to, I guess, do what we need to do. Rights are a great responsibility. So this is the responsibility part, I think. I don't know.
It is.
Right? I mean, talk a little bit about, was that kind of the thinking behind, hey, this is why we're putting together this project?
Yes, that's certainly a part of it. And also keep in mind that we don't ask why people store firearms. For all we know, they're going on vacation or deployment. So we never want to make an assumption. The person who works at a gun shop is not a psychiatrist. And so what we do is we care about treating our customers with dignity and respect. And something that we promote that kind of ties back to my days with my childbirth and doula clients was just promoting having a personal safety plan. And recently we did a collaboration with A Girl and a Gun to help to disseminate that personal safety plan that we came up with so that people can figure out, what's going on in my life? How can I take responsibility for it? And what is my plan for lethal means? And that way gun owners are not just along for the ride, and they know, what to do in certain situations because they've already made those decisions ahead of time. And we always want to encourage people to take responsibility and to take a voluntary approach. When you start to get into involuntary commitments, that's when you can, be in danger of losing your rights.
It gets scary. Sure.
It is. And also thinking about leadership, our approach is that, if you look at gun deaths and gun-related deaths, and 60% of them are suicides, the way that I see it is we have an opportunity to undermine 60% of the reasoning behind gun control. Well, people still push for it, of course, but I think we have a tremendous opportunity as a firearms community to take leadership on that issue and really just support people from within our own community and build a community that we want to live for. So that's what we're about.
I think that's okay. So you've used a term. I think this is probably a little off topic, but you've used a term twice now. So I'm going to ask you about it. I don't know what is a doula. I don't know. I think that's what you're saying. Doula. Dave, Dave? I think Dave knows. Isn't a doula when a pickup truck's got two sets of tires?
That's dually.
Dually. Oh, all right. My bad. See, this is why we got to ask these questions.
And by the way, before we get to the next three questions, if Mike asks you, this station has no responsibility for these next three questions. Just gonna throw that out. Be ready.
All right. Well, a doula it's actually a Greek word that has roots to the word slave, and it means that you are the hands of the woman who is in labor, and whatever she needs, whether it's a glass of water or encouragement or hold her hair back, that you're there and that you're supporting her. And my specialty was helping women that had experienced sexual trauma in the past. And so really helping them to plan ahead for birth and then becoming a mom. It's just, there are a lot of complexities there, but there's also a lot of hope if you have the right support team. And so, I just know how life can take unexpected turns, and we never know, what's going to happen next. But if we do prepare ahead and we do have a community that supports us, whether you're having a baby or, having an unexpected crisis in the home, no matter what that is, if you have the right team in place and you have a plan in place and what your resources are, you're going to do a lot better than if you're just to be thrown into something and haven't thought through any of those important things.
It's truly amazing. That's awesome. That's very, very cool. So the question is, I don't know who researched these questions.
Okay.
Why is there
have your name all over it?
What is up with not liking root beer?
Oh my goodness. I think we just always had root beer as a kid, like it was the go-to, and
you just don't like root beer?
I'm not a fan of root beer. Nope.
I don't know what to say.
Every now and then I taste it again. My dad, we lived in the country in Indiana for a while growing up. And my dad, you ever have their candies called whorehounds, and they're like really extreme root beer flavor. And Dad would be like, let's go to the candy store. And of course he would like give us his candy. It's like, Dad, gross. I don't know. It's just not my favorite thing.
Did you ever have a whorehound?
I don't. Is it the they have like
Real
syrup
hard
right?
candy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Are they in the shape of like a barrel?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Those are super. You didn't like
Oh,
those?
cringe.
I don't know what to
I didn't
say
know they
about
had a name.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
my
I don't know that
goodness.
either.
Oh, yeah, they have a name.
I don't know what to think about
Okay,
that.
what's the next question?
Well, so you don't like? What about Dr. Pepper? Do you like? We have a Dr. Pepper in the studio right here. Is that?
I would pass on that.
And that
I'm
wasn't the
very-
question.
You don't like Dr. Pepper
No.
either?
Go
I'm
to
not a fan of Dr. Pepper.
This interview is quickly going downhill.
Yes, it's time. Yeah, wait till you hear 2 and 3.
You know what kind of doctor
no.
Dr. Pepper is?
What?
A physician. Yeah, that just happened.
Everybody lift your feet.
All right, what about pineapple and pizza?
It depends. It has a really great crust, and it's actually good with a good ham and some jalapeno peppers.
Oh,
It's how two of my daughters love that combination. So
okay.
It's
Credibility
not terrible.
restored. And
No. This is going to be the credibility restored. The last Michael Schwartz question, because he's been asking everybody.
Denny's
Okay,
spaghetti. How do you like Denny's spaghetti? Or have you had it?
Reminds me of late night studying in college, and you kind of want like something that's home cooked, and that's what you order, and it will hit the spot. I'll tell you, it will hit the spot, but
Oh, my God.
it's not as good as my husband. So, you know,
Michael says that is the only thing on the menu at Denny's worth buying.
It truly.
all right.
Yeah, that's what I
said.
said.
I would give it like, let's say a 5.5 out of 10.
5.5.
Ooh,
That hurts.
the interview just tanked. So we're not.
Oh,
So we're not
thank
keeping her for the next segment. Is that what you're telling me?
All right, I'll tell you
Oh
what,
my goodness.
Sarah. We actually do have a lot of really cool, serious things to talk about. So hang out with
Yeah,
us.
don't go anywhere, Sarah. Even
right.
though you failed miserably on the 3
I know.
most important questions.
Well, the pineapple and pizza thing, though, and she added jalapeno.
Do you like pineapple and pizza?
Oh my gosh, do I? Oh yeah.
Tell them about the pickles
Pickles on pizza?
on anything.
Yeah, pickles do go on anything.
Pickle juice. Where did you do the pickle juice?
Pickle juice with
For
Jameson
breakfast?
whiskey.
Yeah, but something in
Pickle
breakfast. Didn't you do something pickle juice in breakfast?
I don't remember. Probably.
Probably. Hey, does selling your home feel overwhelming? Well, it doesn't really have to be. All you have to do is call Scott Vinson at Caldwell Banker Royal Realty. Scott Vinson is the perfect guide to help you sell or buy your home. Scott has always been a San Diego County Gun Owner Board member from the very start. So if you're moving, let a fellow Second Amendment supporter and real estate broker help you sell your home. You can also find your new home anywhere in the United States. Call him today at 619-948-2459. Tell him you heard about us on Gun Owners Radio. That's Scott Vinson at 619-948-2459 or online at scottvinson.com.
All right, we're talking to Sarah Joy Albrecht. From,
All right, Sarah.
From the
Peanut butter and pickles sandwich.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-huh.
Maybe chunky peanut butter with a sweet gherkin pickle.
I'm down for that.
He
That
doesn't
sounds-
care.
That sounds awesome.
But I love chunky.
I would try it. I don't think I've ever tried it, but I can visualize that.
Okay, we're going to try something different. In
Are we
this,
gonna go back to work?
We're going to not talk about food. We're going to go way off topic and talk about guns for a minute. Okay, so we were talking to you. You started Hold My Guns, which, by the way, thank you so much for being a great sport. That was actually very, very interesting to find out a little bit more about you. But your organization is enormously interesting. It's something that we're interested in doing more with and learning more about. What's the biggest myth or misconception, or what would most people be surprised to learn about the organization or about the subject matter?
I think something that I've learned as I've been working on this for a little while now is that people come into they learn about our organization through different pathways, and there are a lot of people in a suicide prevention space. And what I've learned is that a lot of folks are trying to work on this because they have had a loss of a loved one, and so I just feel very compassionate And I think that some folks who are not in the firearms community are surprised that gun owners actually really care about people, and they care about suicide prevention, and they care about responsibility. And I think that just from conversations that I've had, it's actually really refreshing and a relief to many to know that gun owners are actually people that are upstanding citizens, and they really do have compassion. And that's why we chose on the logo, it says freedom, safety, and compassion, because, there really doesn't have to be, there doesn't have to be where you can only have one or the other. You really can have those things existing in the same place. So I think that that's the biggest surprise.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And honestly, I find most people are gun owners because we're compassionate and care about people.
Yes.
That's the exact reason. We want to defend, human life is really the reason. Okay, so talk to us about what's the nuts and bolts. Is it just one location? Is this a program that can spread? Or talk to us a little bit about that.
The program is designed to be scalable, and our goal is to have a storage location at least in all 50 states. Having one in every major city would be even better. We all know that we have to be careful about crossing state lines and all that kind of stuff, and we would never want for someone in crisis to have to make a decision between breaking the law and storing their firearms at a storage location. So I think it's really important as a firearms community that we look together for locations that would be ideal. We want to work with gun shops that have great customer service, not like 1 star, walked in and nobody talked to me, but instead people greeted me and they were kind and they helped me find what I needed and all that kind of stuff. So, if there are any gun shops in the San Diego area that would like to work with us, we would just so enjoy doing that.
Well, honestly, we want to make that happen. We want to make every gun shop to be a hold my guns gun shop. So what does that look like, though? What does it look like for the gun shop? What does it look like for the?
You're talking about requirements?
Requirements, or just talk to us about the process.
Mm-hmm. So we currently have 3 storage partners. We have St. Bernard Indoor Shooting Center in Louisiana, Casey Small Arms in Massachusetts, and Branson Cerakoting in Missouri. And we love working with them because they're all gun shops that have great reputations and great customer service. So that's a criteria. And then what we use is the consignment and consignment return process for firearms. And then, of course, we have to follow all federal, state, and local laws. So what we provide to our gun shop storage partners is a template, and it is customized to meet the requirements for those state laws. And we work with attorneys licensed in that state of operation, and that helps to reduce liability to the gun shop. But basically, it's like a consignment return. So a person would bring in their firearm, they would do so voluntarily, and then when it was time for them to come pick it up, then they would show their ID and any other requisite documentation that they needed to meet state requirements, fill out the 4473, do the background check, and then pick up their firearm.
So somebody's going through something, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, maybe they're being deployed. Maybe they're just going to go out of town for a month or something like that. And they want to make sure that their firearms are safe, or maybe there is some kind of mental health crisis or concern that's going on. You want them to know that, hey, this gun shop, if you just bring your firearms to the gun shop, that they'll store them for free and for a period of time?
They will store them for a period of time. And I have to be clear that a person storing a firearm cannot be a prohibited person. That's a separate process. It's outside the scope of our program. But if they're of course, for liability.
Hopefully that goes without saying, but yeah.
Yes, I have to make that clear.
Understood.
However, they could store a non-serialized critical part. That is an option. And we do encourage our gun shop partners to charge an affordable fee. And what that does is it helps the gun shops not just get a pile of firearms that are just left there. And that there's ongoing communication like, hey, I didn't receive a payment this month. Are you guys still interested in storing the firearm, or, would you like us to consign it for you? So it creates some accountability there, but also some anonymity. Like, you wouldn't want to say, hey, if you're in crisis, we'll store it for free. But if you're going on vacation, we have to charge you, because then everyone would know what's going on in that customer's life. So it's built in a way that helps the gun shops to keep their lights on and pay their employees. Again, good customer service is important. So if it's something that they're having to fill out paperwork and they're not getting paid to do it, that's not cool. But we also have opportunities. Some gun shops and even some like veterans organizations have discussed things like creating a scholarship fund. So let's say there was someone who was in crisis and, or maybe, that they were being deployed or whatever, and they couldn't afford it, then they can pull from a scholarship fund if there's one available that's working with that shop. So there are options there to help people that can be explored. And but the goal is to treat it like any other gun shop transaction. Really, we really want for it to be ubiquitous with gun shops that, hey, if your customers need help, if you have this program, then they can trust you as a community resource. And it makes our gun shop partners look amazing. If there's ever an incident in their community and reporters come over, they can say, hey, you know what? We actually really care about people and we provide this service, and we do a lot to help support our community and to care about people. So it's really great for PR.
So, Sarah, let me ask you this. I know you only have 3 gun shops right now that are participating, but would this be something that you could get from the courts and the law enforcement? Because, maybe somebody's got guns, they got themselves into a little bit of a legal situation. So instead of giving their guns to law enforcement and maybe never get them back, would this be an alternative that the courts would look at as an opportunity to secure these guns, on a third party until the legal, situation is resolved?
That's a great question. If the person is a prohibited individual, then they would not be able to use it.
Right.
But there certainly are services available out there that we would be happy to share with people if they were in that situation. But really our hope is to help people to take a proactive approach. And if they see things to start to go sideways in their own home, in their own personal life, to say, you know what, like things aren't going very well. And it's very possible that if I continue on this path, I'm going to find myself to be just as involved. And so maybe I need to just take care of my personal matters, go store my firearm, go get the help that I need. And then hopefully people won't ever get to that place. So that's our encouragement is, yes, situations like that exist. There is help available, but let's try our best as a community to support one another so we don't get there. And part of that is reducing the stigma about talking about life's ups and downs. And that really is a big part of our messaging, is that we care and that the firearm community cares. And we want to help people, whether, they're experiencing grief or just going through a hard time, reach out and get help. And hopefully you'll never get to that place where you find yourself on the other side of the law.
Well, we're in California, so that was the reason I brought it up, because red flag laws out here, those things can be thrown around like crazy. And if, let's say, you made me mad for some reason, then I can turn you in for having, so instead of them confiscating it, going into the dark hole, could it go to a gun store that's licensed with you guys and does the right thing? I mean, that's what I was just thinking of.
Yeah, and again, if they're not prohibited,
right?
Each situation's different. So if let's say the person maybe had some kind of scuffle and someone, maybe they were not technically prohibited, but they realized I should probably sort things out. It's, as long as they are going to be able to pass that background check and they understand from their legal perspective where they are, there certainly is an opportunity, provided that they're not prohibited as they're picking up their firearms. So we have to be very careful about that.
So what's the most effective way you found to get the message out? If the program is implemented, now how do we get that message out? Or, how is that spreading best? Oh, we're out of time.
It's easy. They come on Gun Owners Radio.
There you go. So if you could give your website, where do people find out more about this?
holdmyguns.org, and you can find us on socials at holdmyguns.org.
All right. Well, I'm sure we're going to have you back, because this is a very interesting topic. Because once your firearm goes to the dark hole of law enforcement, getting it back is sometimes one of the toughest things on the planet. And I think you're a great alternative.
That's right. This interview brought a little joy into our
Absolutely.
Sarah joy.
All right, Sarah, go have a crunchy peanut butter and pickle sandwich. And then we're here till 6. If you want to call back and give us an update, we'll listen.
All right. Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year to you.
Thanks for watching this clip from Gun Owners Radio. You can watch us live every Sunday from 4 to 6 p.m. California time, right here on our YouTube channel, or if you're in the San Diego area, you can listen to us on 1170 a.m. We're also available on your favorite podcast platform for free. Don't forget to like and subscribe so that you can help restore and protect the Second Amendment, not just in California, but across the country.